The Lower Chippewa River Basin is one of the most ecologically rich areas in Wisconsin. It contains a balanced diversity of plants, animals, and habitats in about 300,000 acres. The excellent hunting, fishing, and hiking of the Lower Chippewa River Basin make it a great place to recreate. However, the Lower Chippewa River Basin is not without its problems. The presence of buckthorn in Eau Claire, which is located in the Lower Chippewa River Basin, is an example of one of these problems. This film will focus on the relationship between buckthorn and songbird populations and why this relationship matters to us. Songbirds are not the only animals that are affected by buckthorn, but we have chosen them as our examples. The invasion of buckthorn in the Lower Chippewa River Basin disrupts the balance and variety of plants and animals in forested areas. According to the World Wildlife Fund, the reduced variety of plant and animal species will lead to a reduction of the amount of game in the area, forcing hunters and residents to look to areas with better recreating opportunities. As a result, home values will drop and the economy will weaken. According to the Biodiversity Conservation Network, recreation associated with wild birds alone generated nearly $20 million in economic activity and 250,000 jobs in the United States in 1991. Human activity is the primary agent of buckthorn invasion, so we should consider fighting buckthorn an investment. Buckthorn is important to consider in the Eau Claire area because this area could eventually become an example of buckthorn's negative effects on biodiversity. Buckthorns thrive in habitats where there is plenty of sunlight and they can grow in dense clusters. According to the Journal of Conservation Biology, these habitats are mainly areas where human activity has reduced forest cover. Human populations are growing in Eau Claire, like many other cities in the U.S., and so is our concern. Buckthorns outcompete native shrubs, tree saplings, and low-growing wildflowers. Buckthorns are not host to the numerous insects beneficial to birds and other creatures that native trees and shrubs have. Buckthorns are also far lower growing than an oak or pine tree, and according to the Wilson Journal of Ornithology, buckthorn does not provide adequate protection from predators due to its low growth. In turn, the lower height of buckthorn increases mortality for nesting birds. The wood thrush is a songbird listed as a species of greatest conservation need by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. The wood thrush is a migratory songbird, and it breeds in shrubby thickets and in cool, moist, dense forests. Wood thrushes require these areas not only for shelter, but for its food. Though buckthorns are shrubs, they are not ideal nesting sites. Wood thrushes normally eat insects and berries in the summer during the breeding cycle, but buckthorns do not support nearly as many insects as native trees and shrubs. Instead, wood thrushes eat more of the berries on buckthorn, making the wood thrush's diet less nutritious. Regardless of the disadvantages, wood thrushes and other songbirds are using buckthorns for nesting and shelter because in buckthorn-dominated areas, buckthorns are the most available habitat. Buckthorn were originally brought over from Europe and planted as an ornamental in the U.S. We now know that in place of insects, wood thrushes eat buckthorn berries. These berries also have a laxative effect on songbirds, spreading the seeds far and wide over the nesting and migratory territories of these birds. Humans create the openings for buckthorn by dividing large tracts of forest to smaller parcels, and then the birds unknowingly spread their own demise. To summarize, buckthorn was brought from Europe by humans in the mid-1800s as an ornamental. Then humans fragmented forested land and songbird habitats by building roads and changing land use. After forested areas were fragmented, buckthorn invaded the newly fragmented areas. Then, songbirds nest in buckthorns and eat the buckthorn berries. This causes their diet to become less nutritious and increases nest predation, which causes a higher mortality rate for songbirds. After buckthorn dominates the forest floor, biodiversity decreases. The decreased biodiversity reduces recreating opportunities, lowers home values, and weakens the economy. If we don't prevent buckthorn invasions, wildlife populations decrease and game becomes less plentiful. The problem with buckthorn is not just about preserving nature, it's about the value of biodiversity. If we are careful, we can prevent the invasion of buckthorns not just in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, but also in all buckthorn-threatened areas. So here's how you can help. Don't plant buckthorn, even if they seem ornamental. Remove any buckthorn that might exist on your property. Check out this website for more specific details on buckthorn removal. Know that areas that humans disturb creates openings for buckthorn. Follow trails, don't cut live timber for personal use, and defend your parks and natural areas. Hiking off-trail kills native plants and creates openings for buckthorn. Since humans are the first agent of buckthorn invasions, we must be the ones to stop the invasion of buckthorn. Biodiversity is negatively affected by buckthorn and all other invasive species, and once we reduce biodiversity, we reduce what we can use from the land. If you enjoy the parks like those of Eau Claire in Wisconsin, remember that if we don't take action, buckthorn may spell the end for the wood thrush, songbirds, and our most important natural areas.